Warren Coleman holding it down today with Chad Silber and Tim Buckley.
Oh yeah, TGIF. And thank you for watching 4 to 5 on air, online, Roku, and Fire Stick. I don't know about you guys, but I am feeling the Friday vibes today.
I'm just glad we've made it to the end of the work week, finally.
Tim, I hear your teeth chattering out there.
I just wanted to say that you look so warm and cozy.
Oh.
And we are.
At least the sun's shining.
It didn't make Lauren feel bad about you being out there, but it does make me feel bad.
All right, Tim, we'll check in with you in a few minutes, but first we want to get to our top story today. A headache for Guilford County Schools parents as they tried to get their children to school today. The district is facing a major bus driver shortage due to COVID-19 cases.
The GCS notified parents last night that elementary, middle, and high schools would start at staggered times to help get everyone to school. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tanzino is explaining more of what happened and what parents can expect moving forward.
Well, Chad, in just about an hour, we are expecting to hear from Superintendent Dr. Sharon Contreras at 5:15. She's expecting to speak with us about some of those transportation issues we saw today and those delays this morning, what their plans are heading into next week. What we do know right now is that because of those surging COVID-19 cases and the bus driver shortage, they only had, the district that is, 60 bus drivers altogether. Now, because of that, GCS delayed school this morning for high school and middle school students. In an update from the superintendent earlier this week, she highlighted the concerns of being short-staffed when it comes to transportation and asked parents, if they can, to take their child to school.
It is also possible that we will not have enough bus drivers to provide transportation for all students to and from school. If you can bring your child to school, please do so.
Now, the district will be working over the weekend to have a plan in place heading into next week. As far as what that will look like, we're expecting, again, to speak with the district in just the next hour at 5 o'clock, and we'll be sure to bring you the latest right here on WFMY News 2.
Thank you, Marissa. With the last-minute notice, parents were frazzled and frustrated, as you can imagine. Kay Mills-Frazier said, "This is a mess." There are several things that factor into it to make it this way. There has got to be a way to handle these type of situations without adding stress and confusion. Kristen Mechner says, "This is unfortunate. Guilford County needs to handle this situation better. Calling parents at 10 p.m. is ridiculous. Parents have to plan ahead to give their employers notice."
Bus driver issues have been an ongoing thorn in the side of GCS. As you just heard, Dr. Sharon Contreras warned parents just this week they should consider driving their kids to school because of that shortage. The district recently opened a transportation call center to help handle the influx of calls and complaints. It got more than 50,000 calls the first 3 months of the school year. The district also modified the bell schedule in the fall to accommodate the shortage of drivers.
In Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools employees will not get the raises they were hoping for. The superintendent sent a letter to employees last night citing a budget mistake. The letter says the salary increase approved last month is $16 million over budget. The Board of Education will consider a new plan to soften the blow of this error. The new plan includes a minimum average annual increase of $1,800. The beginning teacher annual supplement would be a minimum of $6,400. School staff will see several bonuses come March and May. The district will request an additional bonus for April. The Board of Education will take up the proposal at its meeting next Tuesday.
Another big story we are following this afternoon, we are learning about staffing shortages in our hospitals. Today, Forsyth County health leaders told us they're seeing increasing infections in staff at Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist, and Navant. Now they're pleading with people to get vaccinated.
We're not asking you to get vaccinated. We're not telling you to get vaccinated. We're really begging you to get vaccinated. We've been at this for over 2 years. You know, our healthcare workers, they're tired.
There's an even bigger conversation planned for Monday morning. All three of the Triad's major healthcare systems are meeting to discuss the surge of cases and its impact on hospitals and its staff. You'll be able to watch it live on our website and YouTube page. Hospitals everywhere are concerned about the rapid rise in COVID hospitalizations. The state is reporting nearly 3,500 patients today. It's 176 more than yesterday. The more shocking increase is week to week. Today's number is nearly 1,000 more than we saw last Friday. and it's double what we saw just 2 weeks ago on Christmas Eve. I've highlighted the last 12 days here. State hospitalizations have gone up each of the last 12 days. Several of the daily increases were by nearly 200.
The Greensboro Coliseum will host more COVID-19 testing clinics and a vaccine clinic. Testing starts tomorrow and runs through the 21st at Piedmont Hall on the Coliseum grounds. You can go anytime Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. or Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Anyone looking to get vaccinated can go to the Swarm Fieldhouse either Saturday between 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. or Sunday between 9 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. For information on how to register for a COVID test or vaccine, look for this story on our website.
And a reminder, starting Monday, masks will be required in any Greensboro City building. That includes the Coliseum, Aquatic Center, and City Hall. Masks are required for everyone, regardless of vaccination status.
Well, in case you were curious, it's definitely real winter right now. This is the coldest day of weather that we've had since way back in last winter. You have to go all the way back to February to find a day where we were only in the 30s, even in the afternoon. That's what it feels like outside right now. Take a look at the blue sky on our Greensboro sky camera, sitting at 35, pretty comfortable. Well, I was about to say pretty comfortable. No, it's not. It's pretty cold, but it is a pretty sky to look at for sure. It's right there in that blue sky range. The dew point is 7, so it's very, very low humidity air at the moment. Here are those temperatures across your hometowns: low 30s to the north, barely above freezing, to near 40 in the south. When you factor in the wind, it is even colder, of course. Wind chills are in the 20s. Why? Well, it's still pretty breezy. We got windy last night as expected, and it has stayed that way. The winds will start to relax a little bit going into tonight, and as that happens, we're really going to bottom out with our temperatures. Notice we don't have far to go. We'll be in the 20s by 7 and 8 o'clock, and then early tomorrow morning, our low temperatures are going to be the coldest they've been in a long while. Check this out. Mid-teens near the Virginia border. Greensboro right around 19 to 20 degrees. Most all of us will be in those teens to start your Saturday, but hopefully kind of take it slow and just kind of sleep in a little bit. It'll warm up a bit by the middle of the day. Wind isn't as much of a factor tomorrow, not as breezy, but it sure is cold. We'll have a blue sky with highs barely touching 40. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about that rain chance coming up for your Sunday afternoon.
Trailblazing actor Sidney Poitier has died. He was the first black man to win the Oscar for Best Actor.
And he was one of the last surviving stars from Hollywood's golden age.
Sidney Poitier was an award-winning actor, but also played the role of a Hollywood trailblazer. He was the first prominent black movie star, and he didn't shy away from roles that took on the issue of race.
Come on. Why you black? Go ahead and say it.
Poitier was raised in the Bahamas on his father's tomato farm. He quit school as a teenager and eventually landed in New York, where he found work as a dishwasher. His first acting audition was at the American Negro Theater, but the producers laughed at his accent. Undeterred, Poitier worked on his speech for months and eventually made it to the stage.
All right, let's get them in there.
In 1950, he got his big break in Hollywood and soon rose to stardom as a dramatic leading man.
But you think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as a man.
In 1964, he became the first African American to win a Best Actor Oscar for Lilies of the Field. That was followed by a string of hits, including his role as the fiancé of a white socialite in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Mom, this is John. He thinks you're gonna faint because he's a Negro.
I'll take that.
And his legendary role as Detective Virgil Tibbs in the Heat of the Night. In the 70s, Poitier started working behind the camera, splitting his time between directing and acting for the next 3 decades. In 2002, he was given an honorary Oscar for his life's work. That same night, African Americans won for both Best Actress and Best Actor.
I came here at a time when this Hollywood that you know was not the Hollywood here when I arrived.
And in 2009, the actor who helped bridge America's racial divide received the Medal of Freedom from America's first black president.
A great actor who broke a lot of barriers. I remember the first time that I saw him was in A Raisin in the Sun when he played Walter Lee, and I loved that play so much that I used it to audition for governor's school back in high school. But he is just such an amazing actor, and a lot of films that will just go on for time to come.
And so many firsts for a single person, right? I mean, just by listening to that story, I mean, it's incredible how many firsts he had, and now how many people probably appreciate the path that he blazed so they could follow along.
You think about history as, you know, you read it in the books, you talk about it on TV and all these things, but that's a person who lived it from the 20s all the way to now. They were still in the world, and so to see that kind of change in one person's lifetime is pretty impressive, and that's a lot of what he did.
Absolutely, and it's just nice to see the world, you know, giving him his flowers for all the great work that he has done throughout his lifetime.
Certainly a big loss. We'll be right back. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up, the Late Late Show will be off air temporarily after host James Corden tested positive for COVID-19. Corden says he's feeling fine and credits his vaccine and booster. Repeat shows will air this week as Corden recovers. New episodes will return on the 18th. Thomasville police say a man set fire to a duplex because he was trying to kill someone inside. They arrested 48-year-old Jason Weeks and charged him with first-degree arson and attempted murder. Firefighters responded to the fire on Kaler Street Wednesday night to find both units up in flames. The victim told police he tried to escape, but Weeks threatened to kill him. It's unclear how the victim and suspect knew each other.
A Greensboro firefighter was injured battling a fire on McKnight Mill Road early this morning. Fire officials say a fire was reported at the Grandview Point Apartments around 6:15. It took just over an hour for firefighters to get the flames under control. 4 apartments were destroyed, resulting in an estimated loss of $150,000. No residents were injured, but 2 cats and a dog died in this fire. The Red Cross is assisting displaced residents. Today, a judge sentenced 3 men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery to life in prison. A jury found the 3 men accused of killing Arbery guilty on most of the 29 charges they faced back on November 24th. Travis McMichael, who shot Ahmaud Arbery, was convicted of all of the charges. His father, Greg McMichael, was found guilty of 4 counts of felony murder and 4 other felony counts, while William Bryan was convicted of 3 felony murder counts and 3 additional felony counts. The jury did not have a say in today's sentencing. We'll be right back. Triad area community colleges are working together to help end a truck driver shortage. According to the American Trucking Association, the current driver shortage has risen to 80,000, an all-time high for the industry. To keep up with the demand for freight, the trucking industry will need to recruit nearly 1 million new drivers in the next decade. To offer a regional workforce solution, Randolph Community College is partnering with Sandhills Community College and Central Carolina Community College to offer a new truck driving training course in the spring.
A pretty costly program to start up, and we're able to offset those costs a lot better. And 2, we can address that shortage in a shortest time span and address it regionally. Not only truck driving, across the entire logistical supply chain, hopefully.
This month, Randolph Community College is offering a course designed to teach the skills needed to obtain a commercial driver's license, or CDL. The permit is required to enroll in the truck driver training course planned for the spring.
The average starting salary for truck drivers is in the range of $50,000 to $60,000 per year. And then, if a person wants to has an entrepreneurial spirit and wants to own their own truck, then they can get into a 6-figure salary.
It's an exciting time for our region with the announcement of the new mega or Toyota coming to our community, which will only enhance truck driving as they grade the land, and once the company is up and running, truck driving will increase significantly.
Scholarships are available to support students wishing to pursue this training course. For more information on class schedules and costs, just look for this story on our website. As we know, truck drivers are in high demand, but so are a lot of other jobs. So I asked you on Facebook, what kind of positions will always need to be filled and why? Ian Ripple says mechanic, we aren't going to stop driving cars anytime soon. Johnny Buck says truck drivers, without trucks, America stops. Skip Ayers says welders and plumbers for obvious reasons. Randy Freeman wrote construction, something always has to be built. And then Mary Hayden, my 11th grade English teacher, wrote, we can't do without journalists. We have a need to know. Teachers, we need to be literate. Soldiers, we need to be safe. First responders, fire and rescue, medical personnel, law enforcement. These are all critical to our safety and well-being.
I hope she was right about the journalist part.
She was absolutely right.
Let me see. Other positions, probably tech.
Tech, yeah, and that's like really big right now. There's a lot of jobs for it. There's a lot of openings in that. So if somebody's thinking about changing careers, that's definitely a good fit.
It's always interesting to see what is the next big hot job that is going to be needed, right? Because tech has been around for a couple of decades with regards to the importance of getting people trained in these positions. But I'm curious what's next.
Yeah, and cybersecurity, different things like that are just becoming, yes, that would be pretty cool. Aerospace.
Someone's got to build the cars like the Jetsons showed, right?
Yeah, because we're in the year 2022. I would have thought by now we'd have flying cars.
Come on, where are the flying cars?
Yeah, but I also think that the pandemic really highlighted some of the jobs we just don't think about, like people who work in grocery stores or cleaning services and staff, garbage drivers, all of that. Those are really jobs that need to be filled, and there is room to like grow and make a lot of money.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum too, we saw a lot of the jobs that were kind of consolidated into other positions. I mean, a lot of robotic type jobs you sometimes you even go to McDonald's and you see like all of these machines that now do some of the work that the humans used to do.
That's absolutely true. So again, maybe we will be living like the Jetsons sometime soon.
I hope so. Tim.
Well, just to tell you, those robots predicted we were going to get 10 inches of snow this week, and I'm still here, I'll just put it that way. Your Beach Mountain live camera. Look, it's a whiteout over here. Pretty impressive. Of course, what's going on, you can't really tell at the moment from this view as this camera moves around. They're making snow on top of Beach Mountain. They got several inches the last couple of days. Right now, it's plenty cold enough up in the high country that they are making that snow on their own. Temperature in Boone is 19 degrees, where they got a little bit of a fresh coating of snow last night as well. Temperatures are in the 30s here. We've barely been above freezing all day. A little warmer to the south, but winter is winning across the East Coast right now. Up into the Midwest, you can see temperatures are barely, well, they're right around that 0 point, right there in the low teens or low single digits even. Cold weather, windy weather, that's going to kind of let up as we go into tomorrow. The wind will go away tonight, but we have a very cold night down to around 20. Highs tomorrow will be right around 40 degrees, but I want you to pay attention to Sunday. If you have plans this weekend, Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, right here, that's your best chance of getting wet. Most likely, we're looking at an arrival of that rainfall between about 2 and 5 on Sunday afternoon, and it'll linger a little bit longer as we go into your late Sunday and early Monday. For tomorrow, all sun all the time, no issues, just cold. Then Sunday, we're up to around 50. That means it's all rain, no worries about frozen precipitation, and that rainfall will taper off by Monday. We're left with more cold weather to start next week.
It's Friday,
You know what?
Gotta get down on Friday.
So, hey Facebook, how you doing? So something I have to do that I haven't done yet, just so you all know. So we have an editorial meeting every day at 2:30 where we talk about the stories we cover for the 11 o'clock newscast. And I always started out, I like to call it the pregame, and I started out with playing a song that somebody requests. Well, nobody requests Friday by
Amanda Black?
Rebecca Black. So one of these days it's going to happen. People are going to cringe because that song is cringeworthy. But anyway.
That was the song back in the day.
So how's your Friday going? How is the first Friday of the new year going?
Oh, here's Tim Buckley.
Tim Buckley.
Say hi to
We're saying hello to the people.
Hey people, how we doing?
Then we got
a little cold.
Jenna Krasina in the corner over there. Say hi to everybody, Jenna. Oh.
Jenna can't say hello.
Her mic is not up, but she's saying hello.
Tim,
Yes.
What do you name one thing that you like about really cold weather?
I like being in my house by a fireplace
Yes.
with a blanket.
And maybe a hot toddy?
I feel it serves no purpose, cold weather.
Cold weather?
I don't like it. And some people like it, the colder the better. I can understand a nice chill of like 50 or 40 degrees.
Okay.
But I don't get anything below 20, just seems dumb.
Are there any crops that benefit from cold weather?
And that's a great question. In general, the colder it is, the less life exists.
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
But I could be really wrong on that.
Winter plants. I don't
So
know.
one thing I do love about really cold weather is that it kills the bugs.
Yes, that is definitely a plus.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
We'll see you
There's
soon.
something called winter wheat.
Winter wheat?
Winter wheat.
Are you feeling the Friday vibes today? I sure am. Hopefully it's been a good end to the first week of 2022. Oftentimes a new year is a new opportunity for new goals. WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris is sharing some of the good news in your life.
Well, it's time to take just the next couple of minutes to pause whatever you're doing and reflect. From the post-holiday blues to the stress of another pandemic surge, it's easy to feel weighed down by life right now. That's why it's important to reset. I asked you on my Facebook page, Megan Malaris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently. Pamela got a puppy for Christmas. Ryan got hired on full-time at his job after Thanksgiving. Tina got a bill paid off. Rebecca's mama celebrated her 87th birthday. Shannon got married December 22nd and spent her honeymoon in beautiful Corolla, North Carolina. Carol is spending time in New York with her daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter. Brett got his internet service fixed after 45 days without, and thanked 2 Wants to Know's Tanya Rivera for her help. Cindy just learned she's going to be a grandmother in August. Christine found out she does not have breast cancer. The spot doctors had been watching was gone, and she's thanking her prayer warriors. Deborah's 13-year-old granddaughter came home from the hospital Christmas Eve, a wonderful Christmas gift. And Sandy also celebrated a wonderful holiday. She said her 18-month-old grandson, who has stage 4 cancer, came through his stem cell transplant and got to be home for Christmas.
Always such a wide variety of good things. Some that are very small, but some that are life-changing.
And some that are more serious too. What's going on in y'all's lives?
Oh boy, I'm very thankful that my family is healthy right now, particularly my parents, a little older. Hopefully they're not watching. But also my grandpa, you know, he's 88. With all the Omicron going on, I'm just glad that they're kind of doing all right now.
Going off of that note, my grandfather, he just turned 90 back in December, and just a couple days after Christmas, unfortunately, he had to go to the emergency room. He was having some health complications, and so he's been in the hospital for over a week now, and I got a text this afternoon that he will be released today. So
great.
Really
That's
happy
great
about
news.
that. Love you, Granddaddy. Can't wait to see you.
That's awesome. Mine is very small and very dumb, but I got a new chair today.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like in the newsroom, my chair was kind of, it needed some help. And so I went to the store and I got one, and it's really nice, and it's I don't know, I just really like it.
So you went to the store and got this?
Yeah, I
Oh, I
went to
thought the station gave it to you.
No, I really wanted to be able to pick it out.
Okay.
You know, sometimes when you're given chairs at places, you know,
Maybe since it's a Feel Good Friday, you can give the bosses the bill and we'll reimburse
Yeah,
you.
That would be great. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
But it's a nice chair, and I'm looking forward to sitting in it in a couple of minutes.
I'm also glad
Go
our
ahead.
buddy Brett has internet because,
Yes.
as we mentioned,
45
days.
Could
I'm
you
glad
imagine no
We
internet?
don't have to hear about it anymore.
That's a lot.
Wow.
It's good news.
We'll be right back.
I don't know, but it makes things.
Hey, ice
It
cold
makes,
milk
like,
and an Oreo
crafts.
cookie, they forever go together.
That's all I know. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I'm Chad Silber here with Lauren Coleman and Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley.
Yeah, the Chief is here with us today. Welcome, welcome. If you're watching on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFMY News 2 app.
We got a lot to get to today. The weather is one of them, but first, the big story we are following today, the scramble to get kids to school. A combination of the COVID surge and bus driver shortages made for a stressful day for Guilford County schools and parents. Elementary schools started on time, but some buses were late.
Middle school started an hour later. High schools and early middle colleges started an hour and a half late. WFMY News 2's Jenna Kurzina spoke with parents about the modified schedule. Jenna.
Lauren and Chad, the district told parents they could drop their students off at a normal time if they wanted, but that wasn't an option for all parents. One mom I talked to said if it wasn't for the fact that she had today off, she says her kids wouldn't have made it to school. Monshell Baker is a mom to 5 kids and depends on the bus. While she says she understands the district is doing the best they can, it's also difficult on parents.
Something has to give. Work is going to happen, school is going to happen, and I hope that my kids are able to go to school without experiencing a hour-long wait in 28-degree weather at a bus stop.
Baker says it's been difficult keeping up with all the changes as a parent during the pandemic. The district said they will be working over the weekend to come up with a plan for what next week will look like with the COVID surge increase and in bus driver shortages. Coming up at 5 and 6, we're going to hear more from parents on how they are working around the bus driver shortage.
Well, parents certainly expressed their frustration on the Guilford County Schools Facebook page. That was the majority of the comments, although there were some that were understanding of the situation. Laura Myers-Webb said, "Pay your drivers better." Sherry Coons-Callahan said, "This is just not sustainable." And then Shay had a very different kind of comment, saying, "Thank you, Guilford County Schools and the Transportation Department for doing their best under complex and unfortunate circumstances." Melanie chimed in, "I try to give the benefit of the doubt, but you have to stop these late changes to schedules. You had to know well before 9:45 p.m. that you had a problem."
Wake County Schools over in the Triangle is dealing with the same issue. The district sent an alert to parents at 6:30 a.m. warning them students might need to find another way to school today because some bus routes wouldn't run. It's not clear how long the problem will last there.
Well, check this out. New outdoor classrooms are complete and ready for use in Guilford County schools. Take a look at that. The outdoor classrooms were installed at 15 elementary schools in Greensboro and High Point. This classroom space is at Jones Elementary School. Outdoor classrooms were funded by the GCS ESSER funding. ESSER funds were parts of Congress's Coronavirus and Relief Fund to elementary and secondary school emergency relief.
Governor Cooper was in Greensboro today to sign an executive order showing our state's commitment to producing clean energy. The governor spoke at North Carolina A&T, where he says more black engineers graduate from there than any other HBCU in the nation. He explained the benefits of his administration's goal to continue pushing clean energy.
One of the main goals of my administration is to move us to a clean energy economy to fight the existential threat of climate change and to create good paying jobs that's going to put more money in people's pockets.
The new order sets a goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by 2030.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. An Amber Alert is active out of Jacksonville for a 6-year-old boy. Authorities have not said when Amari Gabriel Christensen was last seen. He is described as approximately 4 feet tall, weighing around 80 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. No suspect information was provided, and it's not clear if authorities are searching for a vehicle in connection. If you have any information, call police. New speculation claims a 5-year-old started the fire that killed 13 people at a row house in Philadelphia. Investigators say there is a possibility the child was playing with a lighter and set a Christmas tree on fire. Officials have not released where the fire sparked. At least a dozen people died, including 8 children. A judge has denied a request to lower the $500,000 bail set for 2 parents charged with their son in a fatal Michigan school shooting. The shooter, Ethan Crumley, waived his right to a key evidentiary hearing and moved his case to trial court. Crumley is charged as an adult with murder and other crimes for the shooting that killed 4 students and injured 8 others at Oxford High School. His parents, James and Jennifer, are accused of making a gun accessible to their son and failing to intervene on the day of the shooting. Congratulations to Savor the Moment Bakery in Greensboro. The bakery won the city's holiday window decorating contest. You can see the picture here. The bakery window had elves who were working on Santa's bakery rather than making toys.
Winter weather closed Grandfather Mountain today. Take a look at these pictures from the Grandfather Mountain Stewardship Foundation. Even some deer out there enjoying the weather. The weather station near the mile-high swinging bridge shared data showing the temperature was 4 degrees. And imagine those wind chills making it even colder. The mountain should reopen tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be up there when it's 4 degrees, but beautiful pictures. We love the view from up top in the high country. Blue sky as far as the eye can see here in the Triad, and we've had a pretty day of weather, but it's also been really cold. Temperatures are in the mid-30s. The humidity is very low, and we've had a stiff wind. What happened last night, of course, as you know, we had a cold front move on by, and once it did, the wind really kicked up and the temperature really dropped. We're in the 20s this morning and now we're only in the 30s. Take a look. Mount Airy already is around 30 degrees and we'll be getting cold very quickly overnight tonight. Still have wind chill problems out there. We're feeling like the 20s because of the wind, which is still gusty. It's sustained at about 10 to 15, but gusting even higher than that, around 20 miles per hour at times. Next couple of hours, you take a look by midnight, we should already be around 25 or so. And then tomorrow morning, we have a chance to do something we haven't done in a really long time, and that's get below 20 degrees. It's usually not that rare in a winter. We usually do it about 10, 12 times a year. But last winter, we only dropped below 20 one time. The year before, we didn't do it once. That's the only winter on record where it hasn't happened. So let's see. This time around, we're going to have a chance to do it. I'm not sure that I want to, but we're going to have a chance to do it. Clear sky, right around 40 for your high. That's how your Saturday looks. It will not be as windy, so the wind chill is not quite as much of a problem. 7-day forecast, a little warmer for Sunday. Clouds will be thickening up throughout the day. Dry in the morning, but rain does move in. Pretty confident we're going to have some rainfall Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Could pick up around 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rainfall. Clearing skies and getting cold starting Monday, especially for Tuesday.
Christmas, it was 2 weeks ago on the calendar, and yet, how many of you still have Christmas lurking inside or outside the house? Tim Buckley, I saw the camera trying to catch up with you, and I know that you had some Christmas outside.
You just caught me. I'm still trying to kind of get my Christmas stuff together. Yeah, I only took my tree down yesterday, Tanya.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, my tree is still up.
Okay.
I don't have any Christmas decorations up. My mom always said, never let the new year see your Christmas decorations.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a
Interesting.
superstition, but that's what she always said.
Okay, well, I put all the other decorations that I had all throughout the house in one place. I want you to check this out. I posted this the other day. I gathered all the decorations, put them from around the house on the dining room table so I would have one place to go to start boxing it. And I said, doesn't the magic of Christmas elf mean that the elves put all this stuff away? That was Wednesday. Update. Last night, I sat on the couch with the dog. You can see her little nose in the shot there. And you know what? I'm still waiting on those Christmas elves. They did not come and box up anything. So what is it about taking down Christmas that is just so tough?
It's just a lot of work. A lot of boxes.
I think it's probably there's an emotional aspect to it also. For a lot of people, Christmas is their favorite time of the year, and when you take the Christmas decorations down, it's kind of a ceremonial end to that.
I can get that. Were you sad to take your outside lights down, Tim?
So the outside lights are still up.
Okay.
So everything's up.
But I don't have them turning on the timer anymore. I was a little too embarrassed, so I had that switch off. You know, we used to always keep them up through what's called the Epiphany, which is Three Kings Day. That's yesterday. So that was the 12th day of Christmas, like in the song. But now it's the 13th.
Okay, well, speaking of that, we're taking a look at some hard and fast rules. I found some people who have their own kind of timetable of when to take things down. For instance, Dolly Parton. She told Ellen DeGeneres a few years ago that she keeps up her Christmas tree and all the decorations until her birthday, which is January the 19th. She says she still celebrates up until then. Then we have Queen Elizabeth. She waits to take down her tree until February 6th, and this is to honor her father, King George, who passed away on that day. And many say, like you said, Tim, the last day of celebration, the Feast of the Three Kings or Epiphany or the 12th day of Christmas, whatever you want to call it, is when you should be taking down your Christmas decorations. I kind of think when there's dust on the decorations, they need to go.
Absolutely. I've seen some people keep theirs out till like the springtime.
Yeah, my
Like
husband
on the
said,
trees
take
and
off
stuff.
all of the ornaments, just leave the tree up with the lights. And I was like, ooh, I don't know that I can do that. All right, it'll be cold enough this weekend that you can stay in. Sounds like a perfect time to get all of that stuff done. So we'll be right back.
Oh boy.
Look at this video right behind me. It shows a group of Canadian passengers on a plane not wearing masks and having what looks to be like a party or something. This was out on a wing flight, a Sunwing flight. These videos were taken in late December and have now gone viral. Other videos show the passengers drinking from the same bottle of alcohol and hitting vape pens. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the videos are a slap in the face for people who have been responsible throughout the pandemic. Sunwing Airlines canceled the return flight for the passengers, and other airlines are refusing to fly the passengers home. The passengers could face fines up to nearly $4,000 for each violation.
So the thing that's funny about this to me is that the airline canceled the return flight, but clearly the airline was okay with this happening, right? Because if they weren't, they wouldn't have let it happen.
And that's what I was confused. I'm like, is this like a private plane or something? Like, what's going on here? Because rules are rules. And I mean, they were really just living their lives on that plane.
Yeah.
That's not like any plane I've ever been on.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And I have flown a couple times during COVID and all these things. They're not messing around. Like that would not fly on Delta, American, Southwest, you name it.
Right.
They are cracking down.
You would get escorted off or something. And just think about people, like if I was on that plane, I would be like, what is happening right now? How come nobody is putting it into this?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I've never heard of this airline before.
Me neither. Sunwing.
Sunwing. So it's possible it's one of the discount carriers from Canada. But it's just, it's crazy.
I mean, they were really like in there like with strobe lights and all types of stuff.
I mean, forget the masks and everything, like pandemic or not. You can't have a dance party on an airplane. Like, get with it. What are you doing?
And like people are like sharing bottles of liquor and smoking vape pens.
Just passing
like,
all the germs
You can't do that. Yeah, like
There's
you said,
only
whether
so
in a
much
pandemic
fun
or
you can
not.
have on an airplane.
They put it on video too. That's where people mess up.
Those weren't those tiny airplane bottles either.
No.
Those were handles.
How did they get them in there? Do they not have TSA?
That is incredible.
There's a lot of questions about this story.
You know what? After the pandemic, I'm going to look up this airline.
You're going to go on what is it?
See what happens.
Sunwing?
Sunwing.
Sun Party Airlines.
Yep, sounds like it. We'll be right back.
Well, if you just go by temperature, right now it's the most winter-like it's been since last winter. Temperatures in the 30s all throughout our daytime hours. It was actually in the 40s around midnight earlier this morning, but it's a cold day all throughout. Maybe you noticed it if you had to go outside. This is a live view. You can't see a darn thing, I know, but the camera rotates around a little bit. We're over Beach Mountain here. There it goes. You're now seeing some action, and if you can make through the fog here, we do have some skiers and snowboarders. The reason it's so hazy, they're actually actively making snow. Part of the good thing about this cold weather is that those ski resorts up in the mountains that have had such a tough season so far, they're able to get things going now. And of course, they got natural snow the last couple of days too. It's 19 degrees in Boone. We are in the 30s, warmer to the south, much colder to the north. And let me tell you about your weekend quickly. Sunshine tomorrow. Don't worry about anything other than the temperature. Very cold in the morning, around 20, warming up to around 40 for the afternoon. Sunday gets a little warmer, but there's a catch. Watch this front. It brings an area of rain to our region. and that means we'll get a little wet Sunday afternoon and especially Sunday evening. Could pick up 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of rainfall. In the meantime, it's just going to be cold, everybody. Kind of get used to it. It's going to stick around for a while, too. 50 is your high on Sunday with a good chance of that rainfall. And in the 7-day forecast, if you're looking for 50s, 60s, 70s, we don't have it. It's going to be cold over the next 10 days.
As we have learned how to live and work through the pandemic, employers saw a drop in staffing. Many blamed additional unemployment benefits, but data from the Labor Department shows it's becoming a trend for people to simply up and leave their jobs.
Imagine being in the driver's seat, not in an actual car, a metaphorical one. And you, the driver, is what's steering a shift in the workplace.
And that is true for both hourly workers and also for, people in white collar jobs and everything in between.
Jessica Sino, an attorney specializing in economics, corporate, and business crisis, says once upon a time the thought process was people would rush back to work in record numbers once pandemic restrictions lifted. And well, people did the opposite. And the biggest myth, she says, is the idea this is all tied to unemployment benefits.
Well, that's not true. I mean, unemployment benefits have been gone for multiple months now. It's not about the unemployment benefits. There are so many other factors.
Those factors include the obvious: more money, a better work-life balance, and feeling valued. Then there's the not-so-talked-about factors. A ZipRecruiter survey shows 54% of people want to work remotely. Another 19% are unhappy with how their employers treated them throughout the pandemic. Others left because of childcare, health benefits, retirement, and rising costs of living.
Your rent costs more, your gas costs more, childcare is astronomical.
What this all leads to, Sino says, is employees in power. Not just people in salaried or contract positions, but retail workers as well.
The sheer volume of positions that are open now allow them to have some level of negotiation for a higher wage, perhaps more time off, flexible hours if you need to pick up your kids from school.
Many employers trying to navigate this road, but still aren't seeing a lot of candidates moving their way.
Because they're not really being creative in the incentives that they offer for that employment.
Employees have the drive, and Sino expects them to continue to use it to guide them to a better opportunity.
So I am so fascinated by this because, we've been talking for months about how this great resignation and where, the people aren't working right now.
Right.
Where are these people? There are so many job openings right now.
I guess they're still in
Where
transition,
are they?
still looking. But that's a good question because I'm like, what are you doing while you're not working?
And
I always think you should have a job before you leave a job.
And I think a lot of people assumed, and like many of us, that once they ended that supplemental benefit from the federal government for unemployment, that people will go back out and get jobs, but it's continued.
Didn't happen at all. Maybe some people realized they didn't really like their job, or they didn't really feel it was worth it, or maybe they found a different way to make money. I don't really know.
They had to because the bills still have to get paid.
That's true. No matter what, you got to pay them. Yeah. That's true.
It's just maybe an influencer. We got more influencers.
It's interesting.
Days.
It's a real thing.
Make some good money doing that.
All right, we'll be right back.
How a North Carolina organization helps save people thousands on healthcare next.
Cali, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Really? Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii.
Hi, Callie. I'm muffled right now because I'm walking with my mask on, but here is my microphone check.
Hi, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
One, two, three. Sorry, it wasn't on. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, thanks.
Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic.
Hey, it's time for My 2 Cents, and today I'm talking about what you can discover by going through your smartphone. You know how you go through and you realize that your pictures in there and you're like, oh, I forgot about this, I forgot about that. Funny stuff, happy, sad, weird, strange, all of it. And with me, you never know what you're going to get. So I went through and I thought I'd share some of these weird moments. So here's one that just made me feel old the other day. I saw this. You know how when you're at a checkout line, it'll say you have to be born on or before this date to buy alcohol or tobacco. 2000. You could have been born in, I mean, I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, I guess you're right. 2021 and 21 years old. That just made me feel old. Then this is a heartwarming moment. I love this. I was flipping through the pictures and I had forgotten I took a picture of my two little ones, Tyler and Drew. They were so happy Christmas morning with what they had bought each other that they got a big hug, and I was happy that I caught that moment. Here's a weird one. I'm going through the cable guide one night looking for something to watch, and this was actually a show, so I had forgotten I took a picture of it. Larry King's prostate report. I don't know if that's a report about prostate glands in general or just Larry's, but I didn't watch that. Here's a funny one. I was in Lowe's Home Improvement and I took a picture because I thought it was funny. The guy had a mask on and he had a little mustache that he had like stuck like with glue or tape or something on the mask. So you zoom in, you see, and there it is. I thought that was funny. But then I didn't notice until I got home and I looked at the picture closely. Look at the Pringles cans in the foreground. He looks just like him. He looks like the Pringles guy. So I didn't know if he was trying to be the Pringles guy or if he just liked mustaches. But that's the weird stuff you find on your phone. That's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
A severe bus driver shortage in Guilford County prompts a last-minute change, sending parents scrambling.
Had I not been off today, my kids wouldn't have been in school today.
It's just another wrench